Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today is an awesome day. We're going to share about some very important things to know about your child's sensory system. But first, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Jessica. And we are the Certified Occupational Therapy Assistants with Harkla. And so today we are going to talk about 10 of our favorite oral motor activities. Why do we love oral motor activities so much?
Well, first, I feel like we need to talk about what exactly oral motor means, why it's important, because there's probably people who don't even know what that is.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so an oral motor activity is anything you do with your mouth. Chewing gum, eating food, brushing your teeth.
Yep, anything. Tongue movements, touching your tongue to your nose. So all of these oral motor activities are extremely important to incorporate, whether you have a kiddo who seeks this input, this oral motor input, or maybe they avoid this input. So that's kind of what oral motor activities are, but now let's talk about why they're important and why we love them so much.
So anytime you're doing an oral motor activity, you're getting a lot of proprioceptive feedback to your oral structures, to your jaw, and that is very calming and organizing to the nervous system. So oral motor activities are great to help improve attention and focus, but then of course, it's also important to do oral motor activities to help with feeding challenges. So if you have a child who's a picky eater, and then completing more oral motor activities could be very beneficial for them.
Yep. All right, so there are a few contraindications, precautions that we want to make sure that you're aware of before you do these activities that we're going to share, starting with choking hazards. Make sure that your child is safe to chew on these certain foods or chew gum or have hard candy before you do these activities to prevent a choking hazard.
We also want to caution you about any vibration tools that you're using. So if you do use vibration to the oral structures, just be cautious on how strong the vibration is. Be cautious on your child's reaction to the vibration as well, and follow your child's lead anytime you're using vibration to the mouth.
Okay, some other activities that we're going to talk about include straws. Now, make sure that your child is safe using straws, especially because we're going to be moving and grooving while we're doing these activities. We don't want any straws to be accidentally shoved in places that are not safe, down the throat, up the nose, and the eyeballs. You get what we're saying. But make sure that is taken care of and safe. And if you're in a treatment setting, if you're in a clinic, if you're an OT, CODA, speech therapist, make sure that you are taking proper precautions for germs and you're making sure that no one's reusing anything and you're sanitizing everything just to make sure we're not spreading any harmful bacteria back and forth.
Okay, now let's get to the fun stuff and let's talk about our 10 favorite oral motor activities. Number 1 is using a straw to blow cotton balls or pom-poms. This is a great one to do if you have painter's tape and you can create a path on the floor with the painter's tape and use your straw to blow the pom-pom along the taped path and maybe into a target like a cup laying on the floor.
Yep. The second one is chewing gum. Chewing gum provides a lot of resistive input to the mouth, to the jaw, to the teeth, as well as working on blowing bubbles with the gum. So if that is not a skill that your child has mastered, then practice it and help them learn how to blow bubbles with their gum.
Number 3 is one of my favorites, and it is using sour spray. There's a lot of different kinds of sour spray out there, so go ahead and just, Google sour spray and you're gonna find a lot of different options. But sour spray is a great one to use to kind of wake up the oral structures, to help improve attention. Some kids love it and some kids don't like it so much. So if you have a child who doesn't like the sour spray, you can kind of decide if you want to keep introducing it to them and see if they get used to it, or if you don't want to use it at all. It's kind of just trial and error.
Another fun activity to really get some deep proprioceptive input is a suction transfer with straws. So we'll give you a demo of this one, but basically it's like a minute to win it game where you are taking like a pom-pom or an M&M or a Skittle and you are sucking the straw, like breathing in and holding the item while transferring it to another location, like another bowl. So it's really good proprioceptive input while you're working on those oral motor structures and strengthening those as well too.
Okay, number 5 is Bubble Mountain, and this one is a big hit with most kids once they get the hang of it. So you're gonna get a bowl and you're gonna fill it about halfway up with water, squirt some dish soap into the water. You wanna make sure you do the soap after you fill the water up. And then grab a straw and blow through the straw into the water, and you're gonna create a big bubble mountain. This one's really, really fun visually, and it also helps teach those kids that skill of lip closure around the straw to blow. It's great for practicing some deep breathing, so this is a great one to do for a calming activity. And then you can also incorporate some different movements and positions into it as well. So instead of just sitting down and blowing through the straw, you can have your child get on all fours on their hands and knees, maybe do the bird dog where they lift one arm and opposite leg up while they're doing it.
Called?
I think so.
I
think it's called the bird dog. I could be wrong. But you know, try some different body positions to also work on some gross motor skills at the same time.
Okay. Next one is vibration. Like Jessica mentioned, make sure that you are cautious with this, but we do love the company Art Therapeutic. They have a tool called a Z Vibe. We love it. It's one of our favorite tools, but getting inside of the mouth, going on the outside of the mouth, tapping, massaging, getting on the tongue, and just getting that vibration intra-orally, extra-orally is really great to desensitize, to wake up the muscles. It's a great activity to do before mealtime. It's also great for maybe pickier eaters who are a little bit uncomfortable with new textures, but incorporating that vibration consistently can really help improve that oral awareness.
Okay, number 7 is to play mouth imitation games. You can do this in the mirror, you can do this with a friend, but basically one person's gonna be the leader and they're gonna make a face with their mouth, or they're gonna use their tongue and position their tongue in a certain place on the mouth, and then the other person has to imitate. This is really, really great for kiddos who struggle to understand where their mouth structures are. And using the mirror can definitely be great to give them that visual feedback so they can see where their tongue and their lips and their cheeks are to better understand how to move them.
Yep. Okay, another one that is super fun that we love. We've actually done a competition on this same activity in the past, but we like to call it like a cereal grabbing race. And basically you're gonna set up a line of cereal, and we did like Chex Mix or Cheerios or something, and you were going to try to pick up the cereal with your tongue, put it in your mouth, and then get the next piece of cereal with your tongue. It's really fun and silly, and it's just a great way to get some oral motor input, increase that awareness, strengthen those mouth muscles as well. And especially if you have a picky eater and the child is, fearful of trying a new cereal or a new food, this is a fun way to kind of, just shake it up a little bit and get them trying something different.
And you don't have to just use cereal. It can be any
Just works
food.
really well.
Cereal works perfectly, but this is a good one to also make sure you're watching for choking if the child's not chewing it before they swallow, so just be careful with that. Okay, number 9 we call cereal popping. So you're gonna get a piece of cereal, round pieces of cereal work best, and you're gonna put it on your lips, and you're going to pop it and see how far it will go. You can use this one as a competition, maybe do it outside so it's more sanitary. You might get some spit going on this one, so this is a good one to teach about saliva control. But this is another really, really fun one that's very motivating and helps work on that lip strength and that lip closure.
Yes, this is a great one. I love doing this one in the clinic with kiddos who are resistant to eating a new food or they are uncomfortable by a certain texture. It's just a fun, silly activity, an icebreaker, a rapport builder. So that was number 9. Number 10 is blowing a pinwheel. We love pinwheels. Pinwheels are so motivating, and it's a great way to work on not only deep breathing techniques, but also like lip rounding, blowing techniques, and respiratory control as well. So taking a deep breath in and blowing it in the right spot to get that pinwheel to move in the appropriate way.
There's our 10 favorite oral motor activities. Now let's talk briefly about when to use these. So one of the best times to do oral motor activities is before a meal. So when you're doing these oral motor activities, you're waking up the oral structures, you're waking up all of those muscles and receptors that we use when we eat and drink. And so when those muscles and receptors in your mouth are awake and ready to go, it's a lot easier to eat and control your food. So it's also great for those picky eaters.
Okay, another time to do it is during brain breaks or sensory breaks. We love taking breaks from challenging activities or non-preferred activities, or even to do before these activities. Like we mentioned, kind of like an icebreaker or a rapport builder, just fun games to do to break up those challenging activities, to reset the nervous system, and to increase that attention and focus.
Yep. And then a lot of these activities can be done while you're sitting down for a focused activity. So chewing gum is a great one, or using the ARC therapeutic chew items and Z-Vibe. Great to use when you're sitting down doing a focused task and you're getting that oral motor input at the same time to help you focus.
All right, if you have not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure that you do that so that way you are aware of new videos that are dropping weekly. And make sure that you also subscribe to our podcast. We have a ton of podcast episodes. We even have an episode specifically on oral motor skills, especially for sensory seekers. So make sure that you listen to our podcast as well,
which
tons
is
of information.
All Things Sensory Podcasts.
Yes, because that's what we like to talk about.
If you do have specific concerns about your child's development, their sensory needs, their oral motor needs, make sure you talk with your pediatrician. You can always ask for a speech or an occupational therapy evaluation, because that in-person therapy is going to be so much more beneficial than just watching a YouTube video.
Yes, it will. All right, without further ado, thank you for being here, and we will see you all next week.